Hello, my name is Megan.
And my name is Priska. We are from Black News and Disney Channel. Today, we are talking about synthetic biology.
As you know, there are a lot of synthetic biology being developed from all around the world. But what exactly are the government control and regulations?
Well, Megan, why don't we ask our experts? We have experts all around the world ready to tell us about government control and regulations.
So, why don't we start from Marcel and Miko from China?
Hello, my name is Marcel.
And I'm Miko.
Now I'm going to talk about 5 government objectives that each country mostly used, and 2 types of common government policy.
And I'm going to talk about how and why different activity use economic policies to control business activity.
So, the 5 government objectives are
independence objectives, economic efficiency objectives, resources conservation objectives, stability objectives, equity objective.
the 2 government policies are
Monetary policy that changes to interest rates, the supplies of money and credit, and also changes to the value of exchange rate. And fiscal policy changes to government taxation, government spending and borrowing.
The economic policies are employment policy, regional policy, inflation policy, education and training policy, taxation policy, international policy. The employment policy is that, the government are trying to stimulate employment, although it's difficult, such as countries like UK, so they technically give more chances for others to train. Jobs also depend on their location, so they need to find areas where the job can be done and increase the areas that have high unemployment rate like South Italy. The inflation policy is to make sure that there's no changes that suddenly occur, like say in the blink of an eye. They also put standards for interest rates so that people don't borrow or spend too much. International policy, governments normally encourage people to export goods out, and they discourage import goods coming in because it will only increase the other country's economy and they want theirs to increase.
Well, now that we know more from Marcel and Miko, let's ask Natalie and Sydney from Australia.
Hello, my name is Sydney. And my name is Natalie. And now we are going to talk about the laws and regulations of synthetic biology, and also the threats that synthetic biology poses and examples of the products. Synthetic biology is rather new, but there are some laws and regulations that the United States made, mainly for research and products. United States rules and regulations. There are the NIH guidelines, IBC approval, and the RAC review. For the NIH guidelines, it stands for the National Institutes of Health and is widely used as a standard, which requires the IBC and the RAC approval. IBC approval stands for Institutional Biosafety Committee, which makes sure that the experiments follows the NIH guidelines. The RAC review stands for Recombinant DNA Advisory Committee, which recommends and gives advice to the NIH director and has authority to deny or approve experiments.
Unlike United States, the European regulations tend to be stricter, especially with respect to labeling and traceability requirements.
So some of the European United countries are Spain, Belgium, Estonia, United Kingdom, and Germany. The first regulation is for containing use of genetically modified microorganisms. The second is deliberate release to environment. Third is for genetically modified food and feed. The fourth for traceability and labeling. Fifth for export controls. The sixth for dangerous goods carriage. Seven for prevention of bioterrorism acts. And lastly, to prevent environmental damage.
Laws and regulations are made because of several threats that synthetic biology poses. Synthetic biology can be useful for the future, but also deals great damage, such as bioterrorism.
Some of the threats that synthetic biology poses are uncontrolled release, bioterrorism, patenting and creating of monopolies, trade and global justice, and more importantly, is creating artificial life, which means playing is good. There are a lot of synthetic biology products that are out, such as current synthetic biology products are naturally replicating rubber for tires, delivering economic renewable bioacrylic, making green chemicals from agricultural waste, engineering low-cost sugars for petroleum substitute, and producing biofuels and renewable chemicals as petroleum alternatives.
Well, back to the studio.
We have learned a lot from Marcel, Nico, and Natalie and Sydney.
Lastly, we are the one to tell you about synthetic biology.
We are going to talk about the countries that have applied the laws and regulations.
Now, we are going to show you the statistic information of the countries that have regulated synthetic biology in each continent.
99% of the countries agreed to regulate synthetic biology, and the rest of the countries does not. 87% of the countries is in the synthetic biology program, while the rest of the countries are not in the program.
From the countries that regulates the synthetic biology, 28% of them is Africa, 23% is Asia, 24% is Europe, 12% North America, 7% Oceania, and 6% South America.
So, there are 194 countries that have regulated synthetic biology. Some are
Bahamas, Canada, Costa Rica, Haiti, Jamaica, Mexico, USA, Australia, Fiji, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, Solomons Islands, Argentina, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela,
Egypt, Madagascar, Morocco, Mozambique, Libya, Somalia, South Africa, Uganda, China, India, Indonesia, Israel, Japan, Korea, Philippines, Singapore, Maldives, Armenia, Belgium, Croatia, Denmark, France, Germany, Italy, Ireland, United Kingdom, Sweden.
So we have come to this end of the news. My name is Megan.
And my name is Priska.
And thank you for watching.